I'm very glad to hear that you won't be opposing our motion, and because our asks are quite straightforward, and we put them to you this evening, Minister, on behalf of the people across North Kildare and Leixlip, Selbridge, Maynooth, Naas, who are already struggling with a vicious series of mortgage rate hikes, exorbitant rents and a deep cost of living crisis. Even to get out your front door now to get a few bits and pieces for the back to school, you're not talking about a 10 or 20 euro note. You won't get much change out of 50. The days of the tenors and £20 notes to get the rubber in your pencil case and all that for kids getting back to school are long gone. The school year isn't even over yet for primary kids, and too many parents are already worried about September and the cost of free education that is anything but. The so-called voluntary contribution is a source of involuntary mortification for a lot of parents who simply can't afford it. And I hear what you say, Minister, but the schools where the parents can't afford to pay the voluntary contribution are the schools that really need that extra help. And unless you're making up that voluntary contribution, it's no use saying to parents that it's a voluntary contribution, that they don't have to pay it if they don't want to. And the government really needs to fund public education properly, so parents aren't expected to plug that gap out of their personal pocket when they're feeling that pressure. In June, the children, they're already squashed into their trousers, they're riding up their legs, their jumpers are bet onto them, their shirts, because parents don't want to be buying uniforms. Well, they're expecting a growth spurt from their kids over the summer. By extending the free book scheme and by proposing a ban on fee increases on third level, our plan gives hard-working people a financial hand, not another financial wallop. And there seems to be even worse when there's that naked political indifference, and that's what people are saying to me, that they feel that there's an indifference in government about how hard they're finding things. And we hear it all the time: my salary isn't going nowhere, it's not going far enough, and there's no room for the basics even, never mind the extras. So it's not acceptable that so-called free education should be so expensive for the people who are already funding it with their taxes and their work. So I appreciate your accepting the motion.